Hi, everybody. Matt and Paul here from Fiduciary Wealth Management with another webinar for you. And today we are talking about the Beckham Law in Spain. Um, so, Paul, you are our in-house expert on the Beckham Law, so I will pass to you. So, the Beckham Law, what is it and how does it work?
You're passing the poisoned chalice.
Is exactly what I'm doing. Yes. Was it that transparent?
It was that clear, Matt. Thank you so much for putting me on the spot. But anyway, I'll try to provide some clarity. Uh, so yeah, the Beckham Law, I think it's not used as much as it could, because I think it does offer some clear, distinct tax advantages for anyone moving to Spain. I think the issue is, Matt, how which visa to combine it with, that becomes complicated because of the drafting of Spanish law. And I think professionals do struggle to find a fit so that they can, because the Beckham law is fairly straightforward. For non-Europeans, is the issue is which visa can I combine the Beckham law with? The Beckham law is very simple. I mean, it's sometimes referred as Beckham Tax Law Spain. The legislation came about. Um, it's taken the name of David Beckham when he was signed by Real Madrid many, many years ago, and they created a special tax regime to limit the amount of tax he had to pay. And essentially, qualifying individuals pay 24 tax on earned income in Spain of 24%. So it's capped at 24 for 6 years um, after becoming tax resident. So if you've got income from other sources that you don't bring into Spain, then this can be very, very a very tax efficient route to establishing a residency for a period of time. Um, so clearly very advantageous in terms of your overall tax liabilities compared to the more progressive tax rates that apply to all residents of Spain. I mean, the advantages are simple, as I said, and I can sum it up very quickly. Reduced income tax for 6 years at 24%, and then certain types um, of foreign income are tax exempt. So dividend tax in Spain does not apply so long as the dividend is generated by an offshore entity or by a company in a in another country, say in the UK.
Yeah.
A UK national with a UK company where he's the one of the shareholders or the sole shareholder, and he's not running the company but he's paying himself a dividend, there's no tax to pay in Spain. There's no inheritance tax in Spain either, and there's no capital gains tax, so long as those assets are outside of Spain. So as you can imagine, no dividend tax, no capital gains tax, no dividend tax. I mean, that is very, very advantageous for high net worths who are considering moving to Spain on a permanent basis, and they could structure their assets in such a way to try and mitigate tax not only during the 6 years but thereafter as well.
Yeah. So it's very lucrative but complicated, I would
But a
say.
bit complicated when you combine it with a visa. I,
Yes.
I, I think what it is that you're not deemed tax resident.
Right.
I think there was something, I would have to look it up and see whether I can find it. But I think the reason why you're not taxed on dividend and all that is because it's a almost a non-residency regime. Yeah,
Yeah.
you pay
Yeah.
tax, but only on qualifying income, and you're not treated as a effectively as a tax resident of Spain.
Yeah, you're effectively paying the tax on the Spanish income, is that right? But
Correct.
everything outside you don't. But of course, that Spanish income at 24% as well,
Correct.
considering it's up to what, 48% for some
48.
regions income
And no
tax. So yeah,
inheritance, no capital gains. So for instance, Matt, if you had a Brit and he's got income of quarter of a mil, for argument's sake, then what we would do is we would structure um, the income. If it came from a UK company, he would either create a Spanish SL or become self-employed in Spain. If you become self-employed, then social insurance contributions are very high and is effectively very high tax. So it's a question of finding the best route and then declaring some of the income if you're providing services to a UK company. And you can't be too smart. My income is just 20 or 12,000 just to cover the allowance. That doesn't wash.
yeah,
And it's just going to end up opening a tax investigation in Spain. You have to be generous. You have to declare 50 or 60,000, pay a bit of tax because the headline tax is really attractive 24. The other income you can structure it as dividend and then capital gains, and then there could be pension income and so forth. And you don't bring it into the country. So pay a bit of tax, show good faith, come into the country. You're paying a bit of tax. You've got still personal allowances to deduct from your taxable income. So 24, but it's less than 24 when you factor in tax allowances and so on.
yeah. So yeah, no, it's as you say, sounds great on paper, but then when you think about it, a Brit in that situation come in, okay, how do they get that visa to then be able to be here full time? And so I guess those lucky people with the Irish passport or the EU second passport, perfect for them.
But for Brits, for example, they can extract a lot of income. Say you have a UK company and you have a lot of cash in the balance sheet
Yeah,
because you haven't taken the dividends. I mean, effectively, you could start taking large dividends, declare dividends in the UK, take big chunks out, bring them into Spain, structure them tax efficiently, either
yeah,
using um, pension structures or putting them into a Spanish compliant bond or other such tax efficient vehicles. And then not only have you extracted those dividends paying zero tax during that 6-year period, but then I don't want to use the word washed, but you have brought into the country legitimately investable assets that are going to provide income for your retirement, but in a very structured way, and they are very tax efficient again. So
yeah,
there's different ways of you could put it into a um, into a pension arrangement and then take a long-term annuity and pay very little tax and no tax on dividends. There's 101 ways that you can take money out from the UK, limiting your taxation in the UK and paying nothing in Spain during that 6-year window. So I think it's quite an interesting regime and one which is underutilized, I think, by Brits. And not everyone qualifies and not everyone will benefit because their circumstances might not fit the Beckham law. But equally, I would say it's often overlooked, which is a shame because it
yeah.
allows people to effectively move their assets around and restructure their financial affairs in a very optimal tax way.
And I read that it's no longer available for sportsmen though. So Beckham has ruined that for everyone else, have they?
I don't know.
I'm
Is it
sure
true?
I'm sure I read that somewhere. So Trent Alexander-Arnold, when he moves to Madrid in the summer, as a Liverpool fan, I know you're looking forward to that, Paul.
He's
He
not
won't be able
moving.
to use it.
He won't be able to use it. I'm
I
glad to
don't think
hear.
so, no. Yeah. Maybe he should sign that contract with Liverpool then. Who knows?
Maybe I should send him a text message. Get his telephone, sending him a text message. Yeah, that
Exactly. Let
Beckham
him
law
know. Yeah.
does not apply. Maybe that
Yeah.
will dissuade him
Who
from
knows? Who
moving on.
knows?
But yeah,
Good.
it's it's an interesting attractive tax regime that should be promoted more aggressively to high net worth individuals, because it gives them that, I would say, a fairly decent window to optimize their tax position.
Perfect. Wonderful.
And look, it could be that they come to Spain for 6 years only. They restructure their affairs, they draw dividends, and in a very tax efficient way in Spain, and you know extract those assets from the UK, and then in year 7 they move on to somewhere else where it's also tax or even more tax efficient. So
Yeah. I think that's part of the planning element as well, isn't it? It's not
yeah,
just the scheme with the tax, it's what you're going to do long term as well. So no,
exactly.
it's an interesting one. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you, Paul. You've explained it
Thank you.
far better than I would have. So very grateful for that. And I hope you all enjoyed Paul's explanation and today's webinar. Feel free to watch some more of our webinars. We'll be releasing more next week as well, likely. So keep subscribed, keep liking the videos and sharing, and we'll be back with more webinars soon. So speak to you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.